Classic Cinema with the Sage Sisters. Celeste and I are so excited that we are talking about Gaslight today. And it is the 20th episode. And this is the last one of our mental emotional health series. And Gaslight is from 1944. It's directed by George Cukor. It stars Ingrid Bergman, Charles Boyer, Joseph Cotton, and it is Angela Lansbury's very first movie when she was 17. When she was 17 when they started filming, she turned 18 while they were filming
Right,
during the
right,
filming process.
right.
And here's the description. 10 years after her aunt was murdered in their London home, a woman returns from Italy in the 1880s to resume residence with her new husband. His obsessive interest in the house rises from a secret that may require driving his wife insane. Okay, so I looked up gaslighting in the dictionary, and it says it's a psychological manipulation undermining someone's faith in their own judgment and sanity. And in 2020, it became a classified psychological abuse syndrome kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the movie is from well, the first one was from the 1930s or 1920s.
Right, right.
This one's from 1944, and it's the most popular one because it
Yeah.
won some Academy Awards.
Well, and the thing is, between the time her aunt was killed, they do a really good job in the film because um, Paula is her name, Ingrid Bergman. She's
Mhm.
supposed to be quite young. So, and
Maybe,
they do a good job of really making her look youthful.
yeah. And I think she's like 9 or maybe 10. So when the movie shoots forward to the present, it I think she's 19 or 20. So she's
Because she has no other family. Her aunt
no,
is the one who was raising her because
right.
her mother died. She doesn't know what happened to her father. So they sent her to Italy, right?
And they sent her to her mother,
They sent her to
her
her
aunt
aunt
was
was an
an
opera
opera
singer.
singer.
Right,
Hmm.
right.
And they
And
sent
then,
her
so they send there, they're like, you're going to go stay there. You're going to go get voice lessons.
yeah, you're going to go
And
to her aunt's
right, her
instructor.
voice. Right.
Yeah. Hmm.
And they don't really describe how and where she lives, but I'm gathering because she's getting such intense training, she probably lives in this residence of the voice coach.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so here they show her leaving the home after her aunt has been killed. And she looks like she's obviously in shock because she is the one that finds her aunt.
Yeah.
They don't show all that, but it gets talked about.
Yeah.
And then they leap forward to the 10 years and she's singing with the voice coach. And they don't show right away who's playing the piano. But then, she's highly distracted. I love how they kind of show right away that she's not really into wanting to be an opera singer. She sings beautifully. And I do believe it is intended to be where, she's mommy, not quite up to the opera singing par that her aunt was. Although he's a very generous voice coach, he's a very, very
Oh,
kind man.
yeah. Yeah. Because the song she's singing is supposed to be sad, but she's not sad. She's happy
Right.
because she's
And
in
he goes,
love.
and she's
Yeah.
like, I'm distracted. And he goes, yes, I know you're in love. And she goes, oh, I am. And then Charles Boyer is the one who was playing the piano,
Yeah. Now that
But what's so interesting is Ingrid Bergman, she does end up on the train and she meets the woman who lives across the way before
May
all this.
Whitty, played by May
May
Whitty.
Whitty, I love her.
Yeah.
I love her. And anyway, and she's reading a novel,
Mystery.
a murder
Yeah.
mystery novel, and she's like, "Oh, I just love murder mysteries," and she's so cute because she's like, "Oh, oh, oh," she's responding, and Ingrid Bergman looks like, "Oh, what's going on?" She goes, "Oh, something very exciting just happened in my book," and so it's just this brief meeting, And then they tell each other where they're heading to. And of course, Ingrid Bergman is heading to meet Charles Boyer, her now we know is ends up being her husband, and
Well, I
blah
think
blah
she
blah.
went there to think about it because he asked her to marry him and she went away to think about it.
Right.
But
Right. I think so too.
when May Whitty is telling her, "Oh, and I live right across the house from where there was a murder," and
I just
if
love oh what
and that
happened?
and that
And they an
is
unsolved murder too.
that's like brings back all these bad memories for her. So
Oh yeah.
when she gets off
Oh
the
yeah.
train and Charles Boyer is there, she's so happy because
Yeah.
she
And they embrace and kiss. And of course, Mayweather's like, oh my, because
yeah,
it's 1880s. And
yes,
that's not a time period where you openly show affection in
right,
public.
right,
So, then he describes this home to her, and she is so young, and she doesn't, she just knows she's in love. So she's
yes,
like, I do have such a place. And he's like, oh, really? And of course they decide to go back there and live, and it's a gradual thing. I like what someone said. He's playing the long game
yes,
because he really is very patient and meticulous in how he plans out what he's going to do with her
right,
to
yeah,
make her question her own choices,
right,
her observations, the things that she thinks she sees, the whole thing. And how
right,
he goes about it is actually quite professional, quite
yes,
honest.
it is.
Um,
Well, he's
because
been
it does.
planning it for 10 years.
Oh, yes, he has. Because, the one person who remains consistent, he fires one maid and hires Angela Lansbury's character.
Nancy.
But the original cook is still there,
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth.
Yes.
And Elizabeth knew Paula when she was a young and
Yeah.
when the whole thing happened. So that's the one mistake he makes is he doesn't count on Elizabeth
Because Elizabeth
being.
actually is observing all the stuff that's going on.
Oh, she's very observant, very, very, very.
She
And he
can't
does
hear
little
very
things.
well, but she's watching.
Right, right. And he does all these little things because it's obviously not in a time of electricity. So, it's he finds ways for the gas to get
Well,
of the all the lights around the house to get brighter or dim, brighter.
and the
But he does
way and the reason that is because he's going around and going up to the attic where
right,
all of her aunt's things are stored. He's
right.
looking for something
Yeah. And he sneaks his
specific.
way. He finds a different way because he always
Uh-huh.
tells her he can't practice his piano in the house.
I've
So
got
he
to go
needs
to
to
my
go
studio.
I've got to go to my studio and do this. So you find after months of them being there, and May Whitty sees obviously, oh, they're getting ready to come back. The house will be occupied again. And she's very observant to see that Paula does not get to leave the house.
Yeah.
And Joseph Cotton lives somewhere in the area, and he sees Paula at one point and immediately recognizes her. He's like, I know her.
Yeah.
Well, he too starts to watch the process because he's talking
He's a
to the
detective.
neighbor, and he is a detective, obviously a very wealthy one too.
Yeah.
I think because he lives quite well.
Yeah.
And he gets to be amongst the upper crust people. He gets invited to these things and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he starts observing some things too, and he's talking with the neighbor. And this is a really great scene too, where Paula has decided she wants to take a walk because she feels very, very closed in the home and very isolated. And obviously she would be because he
Yeah.
never lets her leave. He always talks her out of it in some way, like, oh, you've lost something again, or you've
Yes.
taken something, these little things he picks away at. Like he gives her this brooch that he says was his grandmother's and mother's. And then,
And
oh,
this
you
is the
can't,
thing. He gives
can't
it to
wear
her
it.
with he gives it to her when they're going out.
Yes,
And she
yes,
starts to put it on and he goes, "Oh, well, the clasp is broken. So I'm going
yeah,
to put it in your bag.
right.
Here, now see, I'm putting it in your bag."
Yeah. See, he makes a point. Oh, we're putting it in your
Mhm.
bag. She's like, okay. But then other things happen where he makes like, oh, it's missing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
he does little things like, Paula, can you come here? And
Mm-hmm.
she's already been beaten down after months and months and months of living there because May Whitty, the neighbor, points it out to Joseph Cotton. Something very strange is going on in that house. I don't know what it is, but it's very strange. And he's like, "What?" And she says, "She never gets to leave. He's the only one who comes and goes."
Well, and Ingrid Bergman's character Paula comes out of the house,
Right? And it's
and
a great
Joseph
scene.
Cotton and May Whitty are in the little garden area
Right.
in the
Right.
square, and she comes out of the house and she's looking very
Yeah.
furtively, and then
Oh, yeah.
and then for something happens. Nancy comes and says, "Oh, are you going out?" And
Yeah.
Nancy, the maid, and so she ends up going back into the house, and May Whitty says, "See, she keeps
See?
doing that."
She keeps doing that. Why does she keep doing that? And he's
Yeah.
like, that is curious.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes it. I love this scene when she turns around and gets unsure of herself again. And Angela Lansbury's character has been set up to don't let her leave if she shouldn't. She's not well. He keeps reinforcing, her husband keeps, reinforcing she's not well. She's not well.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the cook is like, she's just fine. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with
Right.
her.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? She's not well. Oh yeah, well she, things keep happening. So there's that one scene where they're at they just he just she finally coerces her way to be able to be invited to this party. She knows the woman. Joseph Cotton wanted to make sure she was invited because he's curious about what the heck's going on there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he does the whole brooch scenario where,
No, it's the
oh,
same thing, but it's with his watch.
he's my watch is missing. Oh, he does
Yeah.
all these little things.
My watch is gone. Please control yourself.
So that's when Joseph Cotton's like, he
Mm, something.
watches the whole scene because she starts to have a little bit of a breakdown. And he's like, I am so sorry. My wife has not been well. Oh dear, we're so sorry for her. And they hadn't even been there very long,
I
right?
know.
So they get back home, and I love this one too, where Joseph Cotton goes to the Scotland Yard and asks
Well,
this
that's where he
one.
works. He
Yeah,
works
that's
at
where he works. But he asked this one beat police officer, constable.
Yeah.
He says, I'm gonna get your position changed. He goes, I want you to be in a particular area. And I want you to walk this certain area. And he's like, okay, sir. And he goes, oh, I'll make arrangements. It's okay. So he gets this man, this wonderful police officer, and he gets him to also occupy the maid to get comings and goings so he can kind of find his way into
Yes.
the house.
Start to
And it
make
works out
friends.
great.
Friends
Just
with
made
the
friends.
maid.
I was reading how they made the set when they first get into the home, how more open it was. And
Uh-huh.
they slowly start to get more items in each room to give you the claustrophobic
I
feeling
gotta
that
say
Paula
something
has.
about that because George Cukor hired Paul Hulden Shinsky, Shinsky, can't say his name, because he had escaped from Nazi Germany, and
Right,
he understood. He had been doing
right,
a lot of set decoration kinds of things, but
right.
he was from a wealthy family, so he understood all the way
He
European
did.
houses should look
Yeah,
and stuff. And that
he
guy
really
won,
did.
and the studio was like, no, hire somebody more with a better
Oh
name.
yeah, no, but George Cukor had
But he
great
won
instincts on that.
Yeah, he won the Academy
He won the
Award for
Oscar
that. Yeah, because it's so
for
true.
the
It
stage
does become
production. He did an amazing job.
so claustrophobic.
Oh, and Charles Boyer, first of all, I don't find him to be the most attractive man, but he's an amazing actor.
Yes.
And Ingrid Bergman, they had her, George Cukor wanted her to go to
Mental institution.
asylums, mental institutions to study. And she found this one particular patient that she really started to use her mannerisms as she started to slowly go crazy.
Yeah.
And she does an amazing job.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, she's so talented. She was so talented. But I love how he does this whole, Paula, can you come here now? And she always knows what it's going to be, that he's going to point out something's missing.
Yes.
And this is a really telling scene when he says, where's the picture that was on the wall? And she's like, I don't know. And she's like childlike. She reverts to this childlike behavior.
Right.
And very turns within, right? And then he calls in Elizabeth.
Oh, Elizabeth this time. That's right.
And this time, yeah. And Elizabeth's like, sir, I don't know, but it is missing. And he says, see, Paula, the painting is missing. And then there's a little bit of things that were, well, oh, you think it's Elizabeth's fault? Elizabeth, I'm going to get the Bible. You go to church, right? Makes Elizabeth swear on the Bible that she had nothing to do. And that's when Elizabeth really starts to pick up on what's happening here.
Yes.
And then Paula panics. I'll swear on the Bible. And he's like, Paula, you need to find where the picture is because you know where the picture is. So she starts to head up the stairs and it's hidden behind that clock and she takes it. Oh, and she's so scared. And he goes, so how did you know it was there? She goes, because that's where it's been all the times that the picture is missing. He goes, because you put it there.
But he's the one who's put it there.
Right,
yeah.
Paula?
Yeah.
Of course, and how he makes her question everything.
Yes.
Or,
well, but the other thing,
she wants to put more coals in the fire.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And the way he has Nancy treating her.
Oh, yes. Nancy, why don't you do? Oh, yes, sir. And Nancy will look at her a certain way. Oh, ma'am, are you sure you're okay? Those kind of little picking away. Come on,
now
dear,
the thing is,
the room.
They've been there for months and months and months. And the thing that kind of set us, the audience, off is when they first get to the house, he's sitting down, he's playing the piano, and she's looking at this musical score from one of the operas, and she finds a letter in it. And she starts to read it out loud, and he goes ballistic. Give that to me.
He goes, oh, yeah.
And it's like, she's so shocked.
This isn't what you think it is. This isn't what you think it is.
And that's the first shot across the bow. The audience knows, oh, this isn't going to be good. So, but I always think, well, a lot of times movies will have a MacGuffin kind of thing, like Alfred Hitchcock used that term. He always had a MacGuffin that the characters care about, but nobody in the audience cares about. And the MacGuffin in this case is the thing that Charles Boyer is looking for up in the attic, and it's these jewels that her aunt was given by a royal figurehead of some sort.
Right.
And so, and
they're not small jewels. They are large.
Oh, they're huge.
Worth
one of them's like
of money. Oh yeah. Well, and it's interesting too, because this is another thing where when they first come into the home after their honeymoon and their marriage, her aunt's portrait is above the fireplace.
Yes.
And he makes sure that gets removed.
Right.
Oh, you don't want that up there because that will be traumatic for you. When for her, it's comforting.
Yes.
But he makes her think it won't be.
Yes.
Oh, no, this will be too hard on you.
Yeah.
So they put it up in the attic, right?
Right.
And then at first for a while.
They get all new furniture, everything.
Oh, yeah, they get all new furniture. And the other thing, too, is that it's not just the lights dimming and getting brighter, missing pictures, missing watch, missing brooch, little things all over the place where she's questioning her sanity.
Right.
Is she can hear the footsteps
Yes.
in the attic.
Because it's right
And
above
she
her bedroom.
calls Nancy. Right. And it's all above her bedroom. And she's like, oh,
She
because
calls
Nancy's been
Elizabeth.
going, no, ma'am.
It's
Well,
Elizabeth,
wait,
I
first
think.
Nancy's like, no, ma'am, there's nothing. And
Yeah.
then at one point she calls Elizabeth.
There's more
she's
gas
trying
and
to
sometimes
help her. She's just
Yeah.
trying to help her, well, maybe the lights are doing this and maybe this noise is coming from this. A very loving explanation of it
Right.
all. And
Yeah.
and you can see that Paula is like, oh, okay. Maybe that's what it is,
But
And
it's
then,
scary. The sound
things
is
like,
scary.
but it's pretty scary and it's loud.
Mhm.
Because there's a lot of stuff in that attic. But what happens is Joseph Cotton's character ends up talking to that police officer and he says, hey, I've got something to tell you. He leaves the house. He goes around this corner, disappears for several hours. And he goes, and then when he comes out from this alleyway, he's dusty and mussed. And he's like, really? And he's like, yeah. He goes, I don't know where he's going,
We
but
need to figure it
he's
out.
been in some sort of tussle, so we got to figure out what he's doing.
Yeah. Now
So then, of course, they
Go
start to
ahead.
keep a close eye on that.
Yeah. So there's another MacGuffin in here. And it happens
Yes.
to be that there's a knick-knack case that's got glass in it. And
Yes.
these are selected things of her aunt's that she has kept down that didn't move it up
Right.
to the attic.
Right.
And one of the things is this beautiful glove that was part of her aunt's costume for one of her operas. And but there's only one glove.
Yeah. They don't know what happens.
And she would ask her aunt when she was younger, well, how come you only have one glove? And she said, my aunt would always smile and say, I gave it to a special fan of mine.
Yes,
and
a special fan. Admirer.
And so we find out who has the glove.
Well, because he finally gets Nancy out of the house with the police officer, the constable, and he brings that glove with him and he has this wonderful conversation with Paula.
Yeah.
And he takes out the glove and he goes, now I know where I've seen you from. I was a huge fan of your aunt.
When
and
I was
says, and
a
I
young
went to
boy.
all of her performances when I was young. And he said, and at one point she gave me this glove after a performance when I was able to meet her. And she's like, and she walks over and brings the glove out and she's like, oh, and she's just so happy about it. So
it's a way for her to trust him.
That's a way for her to have a connection of something. And in that short conversation that they have, he kind of is looking around the house and looking around and he notices the third story with the blocked off door.
Right.
And that's when he's like, aha.
But also while he's there, the gas goes down.
Oh yeah. And he goes, oh, the lights have gone down. She goes, oh, you see it too? And he goes, yeah, I do.
Yeah. And then they go up to the floor where the bedrooms are and he can hear the sounds and he tells her.
He goes, oh, I can hear that. You can hear that too? Yeah. Oh. That's when he starts putting it all together. And he's like, aha, I know what's going on. He's upstairs looking for something. So now he's really made it, Joseph Cotton's character has really made it his mission to help her out because he's got it figured out that this guy's up to something and he's up to no good. So I can't remember exactly. Oh, he and the constable get into the attic and she's there and they go into his office first, into Charles Boyer's room. And he's like, oh, there's this roll top desk. And she's like, oh, we can't touch that.
Right.
He's like, well, you can't. So he breaks his way into the desk. And all of a sudden she looks down and she sees that letter that he tries to make her believe doesn't exist. And he also still has Joseph Cotton still has that, hey, I'm sorry we can't make it to the party letter that he wrote that they ended up coming
Going
to
to the
because he
party.
decided to keep it in his pocket. And she's reading the letter and he reads the letter and he's like,
She
and he
says, "This
takes
is my
out that
husband's.
other letter and he looks at it and she goes,
That's my
that's
husband's
his
writing."
writing.
Mhm.
But in the letter, it's another man's name. And you can
Name.
see the shock on her face.
Mhm.
Like, what has been going on here, right? And so he's looking through more of the drawers and he finds some things that are very curious for him. And he realizes, he puts two and two together and realizes the name he's been using is not who he is. He is actually the name on that letter.
That she
So
found
he,
in
yeah,
the
so
book.
he realized he's come back and he's he's Joseph Cotton has quickly
That
left.
he knows who he is. He tells Elizabeth, "You've got to protect
Yeah,
your."
so he's like, I'm gonna be back. So he
Right.
leaves. And Charles Boyer comes in to go get in his desk and he's like, you've been in my desk. And she goes, I wasn't in your desk. You broke into my desk. No, I didn't break into your desk. And then he goes, Elizabeth, Elizabeth, because Elizabeth let him in, right? Was someone else
No, no.
here? Oh
She
no, what did
says,
she say? No,
because
she goes,
Joseph Cotton
oh, no
tells her,
one was
"Don't
here.
tell." Yeah,
Don't
protect.
say I was here. And so you have to protect Paula. She's
Right.
like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So he goes, was another man here? And Elizabeth goes, and she looks so caringly at Paula because she knows,
Yeah.
if she says no, which she has to say, she goes, no, no man was here. And Paula's like,
But
and makes her
Elizabeth.
question her sanity again. But Elizabeth, he was here. You let him in. No, ma'am, I didn't let anyone in. And of course, Charles Boyd's like, aha, I got more ammo, right? Maybe he really does think he's driven her crazy at this point because what she talks about in all of this stuff while Joseph Cotton's character is if he can make you insane, he inherits all of this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh my gosh. Because at one point, he tells her, your mother went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why your sanity is in question because
Right.
that's what happened with your mother. She didn't die. She was put in an institution where she actually did die.
Yeah.
And so he's leading her to believe that insanity has run in her family, right? So
So
she's
yeah,
questioning that as well.
and
So she's
fortunately,
like, ah,
Joseph Cotton comes in and he goes, "Am I the figment of your imagination?" Which Charles
yeah,
Boyd.
he does because he's got all the information he needs now. In the meantime, while they're listening to all the ruckus before Joseph Cotton leaves, he figures out, Charles Boyer figures out where the jewels are. They're in her costume.
Right.
So then Joseph Cotton shows up again and he goes, am I the man of your imagination? And he's like, Charles Boyer is like looking at him and they begin to have this very heated discussion. He goes, I know who you are. And he doesn't like it at all because he doesn't like being found out because 10 years of planning is suddenly falling apart.
Well, and not only that, he's the murderer.
The other thing that I think is interesting, when he finds those jewels, he doesn't go the long route. For
Right.
some reason, he decides to, break through the boards that are there and come downstairs the quick way. And
Right.
maybe because he feels like he doesn't have to hide anything anymore because
Right.
he's found what he wants.
In the
I don't
meantime, they've
know.
been waiting for him to
But
come down the other way.
for some reason he realizes he needs to get back in the house. He's letting him know, hey, I know there was this stuff up here. I know what you've been looking for. And really just tells him everything. I know who you are. And he says, he tells Paula too, he's already married to someone else.
Mhm.
Married man.
Yeah, I can't remember. There's a scuffle with the constable and Joseph Cotton.
Yeah,
and Charles.
he says, the constable comes up because he's like, and there's
Elizabeth
well,
calls
no.
him.
Elizabeth calls because there is a scuffle between Joseph Cotton and Charles Boyer.
Right.
And Paula gets scared. She's like, Elizabeth, get help. And the constable happens to be across the street. And so he comes in, runs up the stairs, and even Nancy and Elizabeth and Paula are listening to this blah, blah, blah. They're fighting upstairs.
Mhm.
they eventually get where they've tied up Charles Boyer in the chair.
In the
And
in the attic.
In the attic.
Yeah.
And so they go to get, you know, the carriage to arrest him.
Mm-hmm.
And Paula ends up alone with him for just a few minutes. And he's trying to convince Paula, hey, just untie me.
If I ever meant anything to you, and I believe I did, then help me, Paula. Give me another chance.
No, it isn't here. You must have dreamed you put it there. Are you suggesting that this is a knife I hold in my hand? Have you gone mad, my husband? Or is it I who am mad? Yes, of course, that's it. I am mad. How can a mad woman help her husband to escape?
But you're not mad.
Yes, I am mad, as my mother was mad.
No, Paula. That wasn't true. Help me.
But because I am mad, I hate you. Because I am mad, I have betrayed you. And because I am mad, I'm rejoicing in my heart without a shred of pity, without a shred of regret. Watching you go with glory in my heart.
I mean, you can tell she's totally on to the whole thing.
And part of the reason she is because when she opened up the drawer to get the knife, there's the brooch that he said
There's the brooch, and she sees that brooch, and
Yep.
she puts it all together. I love it when she sees that brooch, because then she realizes, oh, it's exactly what my new acquaintance has said. He's been trying to drive me crazy. So, they arrest him, and they're able to get him out. And Paula goes up to the very top where outside the attic, there's a balcony. And Joseph Cotton and Paula, I don't know why I don't know his name. He lets her know everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And that he will be there for her.
Yeah.
And he will help her.
And now we have to talk about May Whitty. Her character, she's always trying to get inside the house because there was a murder there. And she's really interested in those kinds of things. And she's always trying to, and it never works. In fact, that's kind of how they first meet Joseph Cotton is they pretend that Joseph Cotton is her nephew and they're coming to see Paula. And of course, Nancy won't let them, see her because she's been given orders.
And he kind of, it's interesting too, these conversations that he has privately with Nancy, almost giving her this indication that if you assist me without saying the words and driving her crazy, you can be with me.
Yeah, Charles Boyer.
Charles Boyer character is kind of letting her know, hey, you might have a future with me if we do this.
Right.
So she thinks she's going to move up in the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when all of it goes down and he's being arrested, Angela Lansbury, so great. I love the look of disappointment on her face.
I know.
But, the thing that's so great about this film is really Charles Boyer, like Jamie noticed, there's a point where his eyes are really calm and his eyes are and then he has this switch that goes off where all of a sudden the look of his face changes and you see he's the crazy one.
Yeah. Right.
And Jamie goes, whoa, even the lighting changed a little bit where you see his eyes and his face and everything transforms.
Yeah. And also
Bergman the same way. You see how she shifts from I'm unsure of myself to, oh,
this is what's been going on. Yeah.
I am safe. Like it starts with the glove. All these little steps that help her see that what he's been doing this entire time.
And that she has an ally. Now I want to say something about the awards. This is Angela Lansbury's very first movie. She was 17 when they started. She turned 18 while they were filming, and they had a little party for her. And one of the things was she had this little scene where she's supposed to smoke a cigarette. Well, her social worker who was with her would not let her do it when she was 17. But the minute she turned 18, she was an adult. So
Yep.
she could smoke the cigarette. So they had the party for her. And then they filmed the scene with her smoking the cigarette. And the other thing is, this was her first film. She was nominated for an Academy Award.
Well, and she deserved that.
Yeah.
I have known people who aren't really fans of Angela Lansbury, but I am a fan.
I'm a fan too.
And this is another movie I almost think we could have done about mental health is The Manchurian Candidate.
Oh my God, really?
Because what she does in that movie, it gives me chills right now to think about.
Yeah.
Think about her part in that film.
Yeah.
And this is a really great launching off point for Ingrid Bergman too, because I do think for a long time she was just thought of as this very pretty face because she is stunning. The woman is stunning.
Yeah.
And she really shows her acting chops in this because she can take you from this young child to a woman falling in love to having this joy of being freshly married and this beautiful face. And once again, let's talk about the cinematography and the camera work and the lighting, because this is a black and white film. And the way they changed not only the set, but the way the lighting gets changed, the way they have the camera angles.
Yeah.
And the makeup, the slight makeup change under her eyes, her hair being slightly mussed. You know, sometimes she's not buttoned or quite proper. You know, there's just all these little things. And with this study that she did of this mental patient and the way her hands would shake, the way she would sit,
the way she stood,
held
her head,
the way she would walk up and down the stairs, when she felt confident, the way she would walk up and down the stairs. And really, what I think too is you really can't gaslight someone fully who isn't mentally unstable, because you really see the reason why it doesn't work, because Charles Boyer's character is the one who's not stable.
Right. And the thing that he says to her is, there was always those jewels were a fire in my mind, and they were always between me and you. They were always, I had to have them, and that desire was always between me and you.
And the other thing that's a neat side story, in Charles Boyer was only married to one woman his whole life.
Right.
And they were having a hard time conceiving children. And this is not a part of the movie story.
I was going to tell that too.
Everyone on the set knew that she was getting ready to have a baby.
Right.
Joy. She was finally gave birth when they were filming something, and they closed down the set for several days. George Cukor was like, and they celebrated with him. They got the champagne and his utter joy to have a child and to have a son with this woman that he obviously was so committed to.
Yeah.
And I love that they celebrated that. And here he is in his private life having this utter joy. But what he could transform to in this character is huge.
Someone so cruel. He's so
completely opposite. And in the trivia, and I think it's Ingrid Bergman's trivia, or maybe in the movie trivia, when she wrote her memoir, she talks about what a completely kind and gentle man Charles Boyer was.
He was one of her favorite.
He was one of her all-time favorite people to be in a film with, because he could, and I've heard this about him too. When you're in scenes with him, you want to level up because of what he brings to the moment of it, and how in the moment he is. And you can tell that with him. You can tell his professionalism. And I think, you know, yes, this is our mental health film, but I also think too that, you know, every time you and I have these films that we talk about, if there's anything you're ever wondering about, if you want to get in acting or film industry, these two are acting classes.
Yeah.
directing
A
classes,
lot of the movies
lighting
we've talked
classes.
about are.
Oh, they're just so good. And
Yeah.
Ingrid Bergman, to watch her at the beginning of this film to the end, to her relief, you know, I love the symbolism at the end when she walks out into the balcony and the weather is starting to change. They show the clouds up above
And the
and the
moon is
breeze,
coming
and
out.
the moon is coming out and that slight breeze, and she just takes in this air,
Yeah.
and it's refreshing for her.
And she says, this is going to be a long night. And he said, yes, but it will end.
But it
I
will
like
end.
that. Yeah.
Right. And of course, you know, something has happened because May Whitty goes, you know, they show her, she's finally made her way into the house and she's like, oh my.
She's made herself up. She's let herself up into the attic.
It's just, it's such, I love films that can have some light parts in it with the darkness because that is life.
Yeah.
You know,
Now I
it's
have to
not
say,
always,
right.
bum, bum, bum,
Now I
you
have to
know.
say something else about May Whitty. I found out that this is in the trivia, she was the very first actress or actress to be named a dame, to be
Oh,
by,
yes.
and
Isn't
it
that
was
amazing? I
Queen
know.
Elizabeth's the second's grandfather that
Grandfather.
gave, it was in
Right.
1914
Yeah. Yeah.
that she was given that
Well, and if you look at her body of work,
OBE.
obviously she had work done, had been doing work that Americans had not seen prior.
Since the very first movies were made.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this is something that I really appreciate too about this film. It's actually one of those films that really introduces foreign actors because there's a
Mhm.
lot of British actors in this film. Angela Lansbury, Dame Whitty. I mean, you know, all of these people are British actors. So,
Ingrid
I've
Bergman's Swedish.
she's Swedish, right? And you know, I've started to become more interested. They have on TCM Foreign Film Night,
Mhm.
and I'm wanting to watch more of that. I've caught some here and there, and they've been quite good. And so that might be something we could introduce into our
Oh
show
yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
because there is some work done from, you know, the French and the British, and that really also helped move forward American film.
Yeah.
That I think is
Italian.
really
There are some really
Italians, right?
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's really, and it's been fun to watch some of that stuff because Alicia Malone, who hosts it, they get to talk about all of that, and it's really great. It's, to me, it still seems relevant for today.
Yeah. Well,
And
it
there's
is
a reason
because we've
why
all
we
been
call it gaslighting, because
we've
people still do it now.
yeah, and we've been going through it for the last few years.
Yes, we
The
have.
other thing
Right.
is, the other thing that I wanted to say about that was that um about foreign
No,
films.
I get that.
And
Yep,
then
I
there's
get that.
another
Yeah.
one that I want to see, which is a 4-hour movie, I think, and it's the Seven Samurai that the
Oh
Seven
yeah. Yeah,
Magnificent
I
Seven
was
is
going to
based on.
suggest that one.
Yeah.
Because that's what um they have based so many other movies off of the Seven
Yep.
Samurai.
Mm-hmm.
What's that
It's
movie, the Western? It escaped me.
the Magnificent Seven.
Seven Samurai. But
Right.
see, that's again a foreign film influencing
Right.
American filmmaking. And
Right.
by the way, both films are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
They're
Yeah.
really good.
So we're gonna end this one, and but I mean there are whole bunches of other movies that are really great
Yes.
about mental illness.
Yes.
In films for writers, we watched Misery, which I never really wanted to watch, but talk about a mental illness.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
Oh,
The thing is about, you know, Stephen King, you know, he hasn't written just horror films.
right.
He's written other things. Dolores Claiborne could be another mental health one too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Abused Wife, what
Yeah.
happened with that? The Green Mile, Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
I think we should, you know, focus on some of those films as well, because
Yeah.
he Stand By Me,
Mhm.
you know, amazing. You're right, Lucinda. I think, yeah, those movies, I mean, Misery. Who would have thought? And I was watching a talk during a film festival that Rob Reiner, he directed Misery.
Right.
He
And
is a
Kathy
very
Bates.
and
I
Kathy
watched it.
Bates. Yeah, and I watched that talk, and how when the Academy Awards came up, he's like, "Well, you're nominated, but you're not going to win."
Right.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I'm going to vote for you. I think and then here she wins, and she deserves
Yeah.
Kathy Bates. There's a reason
Oh,
why she is the actress that she is, because oh my God.
speaking of, in this case, Ingrid Bergman was nominated for Best Actress. Nobody thought she was going to win. Everybody thought it was going to be Barbara Stanwyck for
Oh, Double Indemnity. Oh my God.
she was nominated for Double
Yeah.
Indemnity. And when Ingrid Bergman won, Barbara Stanwyck said something about, "Oh, I'm so happy that she won because I'm a member of the Ingrid Bergman fan
Oh,
club."
she was a huge fan of hers. That's the one thing you always hear about Barbara Stanwyck, and you know, some of these actresses, they would want you to believe. Now, there were some actresses that did not like each other. Betty Davis and Joan Crawford were not friends.
No.
And that's okay. Behind the scenes, absolutely supported each other.
Yeah.
It's truth. And I know that about Barbara Stanwyck. That got talked about quite a bit, that she was like, oh, like I voted for her too, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, and absolutely, I can see why they thought Barbara Stanwyck was going to win for Double Indemnity, because she's chilling in that film.
She is. Yeah.
I mean, oh my gosh. And it's just, oh, and you can, and the other thing I like about the Ingrid Bergman fan club is I'm not sure. I mean, even in her funny films like Cactus Flower,
Oh yeah.
she brings it, man.
Yeah.
And she so brought it in this part of,
Yeah.
because it's another one of those really great writing where at first you go,
She wasn't
oh,
sure
what
she
happened
wanted
to
to
her?
do that because she's
Oh,
not a strong character.
right.
But
She didn't know she could carry it off.
yeah, she wasn't sure she could.
She
That's
thought,
why she
oh,
was.
I don't know if I can
Yeah.
do that.
Hmm.
Boy, did she.
Yeah,
And
really.
that's the other thing too. I was reading. That's, I think, I love it when other actors give people the credit for thanking them for helping me do this. Because
Mhm.
if it wasn't for your presence
Yeah,
in this film, I'm not sure I could have leveled up.
right.
And what a team effort
Yeah,
every step is.
right. Yeah,
It really is. We're in this together.
yeah,
And really fine acting. That's it. That's why I think you and I love the films that we love, because you get the whole teamwork in it,
right.
the actors, the
Yeah,
writing, the atmosphere that they create with the filming and the whole thing. And you know, I think it's the other thing I'd like to end with in this, for this film, is how when you really are a strong person, which really, that's what she shows in this film,
in the
is
end, she's strong.
what she went through, finding her aunt being killed,
Right,
and then, you know, obviously those 10 years that they did not show us what was happening with
right.
her was vital in her mental health
Yeah,
recovery.
right.
And how the idea that this man thought he could break her down,
Hmm.
he obviously didn't. Because when she learns the truth, when everything comes out, her strength is there.
Yep. Yeah. And she's not going to let him
Yeah,
gaslight her anymore when he says,
right. No
"Paula, go
gaslighting.
go get
And
the
now
knife."
she won't
Just
have to question her sanity again.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
And that's what I love about it, is how they go through this peaks and valleys of her mental health, and then you really see
She's
she's good.
strong.
She is
Hmm.
strong. And it really, honestly, once again, you know, it's a woman's film,
Yep, it is. Yep.
you know. She's not this weak character. And the way they were able to write it and the way she acted, she shows she's strong. And I
Yeah,
love it.
I love it too. So, so the next movie that we're going to see is going to start a series of, I have 6 movies that are sort of in this category of race relations. So we're going to see 2 with Sidney Poitier, and the first one is going to be In the Heat of the Night. And then we're going to see 2 with Denzel Washington. And then we're going to see 2. Oh, balloons, look. How fun. And then we're going to see 2 with Gregory Peck, where in the first one he pretends to be a Jew. He's a journalist. And he's writing about anti-Semitism, and he pretends to be a Jew. And then the next one, the last one of that, is going to be To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes.
So we're gonna, now there are lots of other movies that we could watch, but I wanted to include Sidney Poitier and Denzel Washington because
We
they
have to.
are powerhouse actors, and they are kind of broke the mold.
Well, and they're game changers.
Yeah, they are.
You know, like Sidney Poitier had his time in the 60s to
Mhm.
really break that barrier.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
then, you know, there was kind of a in between time where
Yeah.
they still, okay, after he did some of his stuff, the Black people were still kind of in the background. And then you make this quantum leap with Denzel Washington. And Denzel Washington, I mean, he still is just, he keeps leveling up.
I know.
I mean, and he, yes, he's an extremely attractive man. Sidney Poitier, extremely attractive man. But they don't play parts that rely on their looks.
Right. Exactly.
And I think that's really important for
Yeah.
men too, to play
Right.
parts that don't rely on their looks.
Right.
And the quality of their work is groundbreaking.
Right. So thank you for watching this one.
Thank
Go
you.
go watch Gaslight. It's the original. It's the term that actually became a psychological. Whatever you want to call it, abuse. Me too. And go to our Facebook group
Yes.
and join there. I try to post things periodically, and we have other
Yeah.
people who do too about the movies that they're
Oh
watching.
yeah, it's fun.
So
Yeah.
it's fun. We have a conversation, and you can make comments here. So thank you for
Thank
watching.
you.
Bye.
Bye.